Today on App Judgment, Safari sucks. So which third-party browser should take its place on your iPhone? This episode of App Judgment is brought to you by Netflix. Hey everyone, it's Annie and welcome to App Judgment, your source for mobile app reviews from Revision 3. If you use an iPhone, iPod Touch, or iPad, you know that Safari, Apple's native browser, totally sucks. Safari is a pain to use. It's slow, it's ugly, and doesn't do a whole lot. You can create multiple pages, add bookmarks, mail links, and set up a home screen, but that's about it. Safe to say it's very 2007. And it's true that Apple has been very anal about keeping out third-party browsers that undermine the usefulness of Safari on the iPhone. That's why it was so exciting and unexpected when Apple approved Opera Mini, the mobile browser based on the desktop browser of the same name. Opera Mini is free in the App Store and will cost you 1 megabit of data. The first thing you'll notice about Opera Mini is how striking the design is. All red and gray and nice proportions, it's pretty hot. On the home screen, you'll see that you have a total of 9 different windows open at the same time. Touching each of the squares will expand that window. Tapping on a blank square will open up a new window where you can navigate to a new page by either typing out a new one or returning to some of your favorites. The emphasis on the windows gives you a more visually pleasing and intuitive experience if you're the type to navigate constantly between pages. And in the settings, you can visit your bookmarks, view your history by today's date or older, return to the start page, view saved pages, search, and toggle some more detailed settings as well, including turning on the full screen function, adjusting the image quality, font size, the load images options, and more. So Opera looks pretty slick and it's free, but is it really the best alternative to Safari out there? Find out when we get back, but first let's thank our sponsor.
Netflix delivers movies directly to your home, saving you time and money. As a Netflix Unlimited member, you get DVDs by mail in about 1 business day. Plus, you can instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies streamed directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV via a Netflix-ready device like the PS3, Xbox 360, and Nintendo Wii console. As a new member and an App Judgment viewer, you get a free trial membership, so go to netflix.com/AJ and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so they know we sent you.
All right, so I have to admit that initially I was somewhat biased towards Opera Mini as the ultimate mobile browser because around the time it was approved, it grabbed all the headlines, totally dominating the download game in iTunes all across the world. But it's certainly not the only browser alternative out there. In fact, there are tons, so we decided to compare Opera Mini to another popular browser, Vanilla Surf. First off, I love the name, which sounds like a specialty cocktail. It's free as well and totally comparable in terms of data usage at 1.1 megabits. When I tested it over Wi-Fi, I found Vanilla Surf to be just about as fast as Opera. Right off the bat, though, I noticed that it doesn't load a new page unless you manually type in the .com at the end of the URL, which is not true of Opera or even Safari. Not the end of the world, but it's nice when your browser knows what you have in mind. However, I am a creature of habit and tend to visit the same sites a lot, so it's cool that in my bookmarks, I can go back and view my history by date and go directly to the same few sites that I visit all the time. One of the great things about Vanilla Surf is the emphasis on full screen mode. I find that I use my mobile browser mostly to read my favorite blogs and website while I'm just killing time on the bus, etc. So I appreciate how easy it is to get in and out of full screen mode, since on the iPhone, those few extra millimeters really do count. Along the bottom, you'll find a toolbar where you can add a new page, manage your bookmarks, including an import-export option with Safari, and some sharing options. Here you can send a URL out, add new bookmarks, and take a screenshot that saves your photos, an added touch that I love. In the settings, you can clear your history and cookies, and toggle some of the load options. In the tabs bar, you can change up the way Vanilla Surf adds new tabs and windows. So as you can see, it's very, very customizable in that you can really make the browsing experience your own according to your own habits and preferences. In Vanilla Surf, there's also a download option, although it doesn't actually download to your phone. Instead, if you download an MP3, for example, it allows you to play it on the phone, but to actually download it, you would need to follow the instructions to sync your phone to your desktop using Wi-Fi. It takes a few steps, but it's actually pretty easy. So what are the pros and cons to each? Opera is pretty fast and has a slick and beautiful UI that's more visually engaging than Vanilla Surf. However, the full screen mode is not as easily accessible. Vanilla Surf feels a bit more utilitarian as opposed to design-oriented, but the emphasis on the full screen mode might be a better use of the limited space on the iPhone or iPod Touch. In the settings, you can also really make the experience your own. Considering that both are free and comparable in terms of both speed and data usage, it's going to come down to your own personal browsing style and whether you value function or form. Both are very strong, and I honestly think that both are worthy of a download. I personally use Vanilla Surf over Opera because knowing my own habits, the full screen function is a better use of the space and the ability to manage multiple windows. But do you have a browser that you love? If so, send us an email at appjudgment@revision3.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and on our homepage at revision3.com/appjudgment. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at Annie Gauss. Thanks for watching.